question is from Chris. Thank you, Chris, for the question. And he's asking, what is the trainer-student ratio for the RTO delivery?
Again, it's not anywhere in the standards that it is a perfect ratio, but as far as some of the assessment conditions for some training packages like childcare construction, they have mentioned in the assessment conditions. The best practice is to have 1:15 or 20 for the practical assessments, but again, maximum is 20, I would say. That is the perfect ratio, but again, there is no sort of standards for that one.
I think I have a different view on this one. Again, the student-trainer ratio can be varied to different colleges, different course, different things. And there are underlining things that you can consider is the facilities. Number one is classroom. If my classroom size only accommodate 15 students, I can't have 20 students. If my classroom can accommodate up to 25 students, yes, I can also put 25 students as well. If the unit or qualification are more practical, so if you're doing this simulation practical, but that simulation only allow people to up to 10 students, then even though your classroom has 25 size, then you need to plan that how you're going to meet those 25 student practical. So to defining the ratio properly, it always rely on the resources, the facilities that you have, and the training package required. So as an ASCO auditor or as an internal auditor, I will come and say, okay, you have this 25 student group. Show me you have a classroom facility. Show me your simulation can be done with the 25 students at a time if you're showing it. And show me if this particular unit is saying me that it needs to be done in the workplace. Then how this 25 students going to be done in this particular hour. So if you're able to answer all those questions, then you justifying your trainer-student ratio.
So now we are clear about student-trainer ratio, but there is also a question about student support officer to student ratio. Is there any required ratio as per compliance?
Again, there is no standard for that one, but as Ben said, it all depends on, first of all, I think so your student cohort. If, for example, students need LL&D support, then you might need more student support as comparison to if your cohort is, don't need those sort of support. It all depend on how much support you actually require. So some RTOs have 1:50, some have 1:100. Again, it depends on your students.
Okay, great. I think it's number nowhere mentioned under the quality area too, student support. But that also mentioned that we have a sufficient support available to the student. Now, how you define the sufficient mean can be different things. So one is that how many queries or support queries that your support people are getting. Even sometimes a student cohort need more attention. Even in the small number, you need more student support. Sometimes if you have your system and you digitize them and you have maybe a student portal where majority of queries can be answered online or solvable, that means your student support officer get less query. So again, how you define sufficient is based on a lot of number of queries that you're getting from the student based on the cohort. And if your student support officer finding overwhelming, that means you need to increase more. So even one RTO can have 80:1 ratio is sufficient. Maybe another RTO has a different cohort, maybe physically challenged people, maybe this, maybe that, you don't know, but that they might need, even with that 80, they might need 1.5 student support officer. So as an auditor, they will say, okay, show me how you define this sufficient number. So maybe if you put, let's say you have a 200 student and you put one support, it's gonna be very hard to explain that this is sufficient.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. We have pretty much covered all the questions that came from all of our attendees of our webinar. So thank you so much to all of you for sending your questions, and thank you Ben and thank you Shubhi for answering all those queries. Just in case if you have still more questions even after this, you can feel free to send us your questions and we will try to answer as many as we can. Until then, thank you once again. Thank you, Ben. Thank you,
Thank you,
Shubhi.
Mahi. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you, guys.